Alright, this is it. Can't avoid it anymore. It's time for the official review for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. Look, my honesty is everything, and I have to say, I wasn't a big fan of the chapter. I didn't really like it, honestly. And that kind of hurts to say that, because I loved all the other chapters. Chapter 3 was my favorite, by the way. And then Chapter 5 was just disappointing to me. Like, because a lot of people, like, when Chapter 4 came out, a lot of people were saying that it was disappointing. To me, Chapter 5 was disappointing. Only I thought it was disappointing, because everyone else seems to like it. It might honestly be worse than Chapter 1. Not saying Chapter 1 was bad, but it's just all the other chapters are better than Chapter 1, so honestly, the fact that Chapter 5, in my opinion, was worse than Chapter 1 is kind of heartbreaking. So why wasn't I a fan of it? Because, well, it kind of disappointed me. I was expecting it to be a bit better. Of course, there were some things about it I liked, but there's more things about it I don't like. So let's just go over the things I don't like, and then we'll go over the things I do like. So for what I don't like is that I was hoping the chapter was gonna be a bit, like, different environment-wise, because, like, considering the fact that like, you said how, like, I was expecting everything to be a lot more, like, dimmed lit or something, I don't know, and, like, for everything to be a lot more, like, destroyed and damaged looking, considering that the labs is the prototype's home, so it should have looked a lot more destroyed looking, like an absolute, like, land, like, it should have looked like an absolute, like, it was some sort of, like, absolute, I don't know, landfill or something. I was hoping it was going to be a lot more, like, dimmed with the lights, like, so hard to see lights. I mean, Chapter 4 looked a lot more destroyed than Chapter 5, considering Chapter 4 had an actual, like, literally had a graveyard and in a prison that that was, like, a lot really damaged. So that's what's kind of disappointing to me. And another thing I don't like about it was the VHS tape intro. It was like the intro VHS tape, because, like, each chapter has a VHS tape to start it off. Like, Chapter 1 had Poppy Playtime, Poppy Playtime herself, kind of just, like, introducing her as a character much. Chapter 2 had a Mommy Longlegs commercial, because she was the main antagonist of that chapter. Chapter 3 had a Smiling Critters cartoon and the news broadcast about Catnap getting recalled, because he was the main villain, he was the main antagonist of that chapter. And then Chapter 4 had a Doughy the Doughman commercial, and also the footage of Jack Ayres falling into the vat of dough, because Doughy was the main focus of that chapter, even though Harley Sawyer was the main antagonist. Like, for this chapter, what did we get? We get this commercial about these weird-ass toys called Wrong Side Out Outimals or something. Like, I don't like it. I hate it at them. I would have preferred a Huggy Wuggy commercial, because he deserves that, especially since Huggy Wuggy came back in Chapter 5. Or like, just, like, a commercial that was, like, introducing Playtime Co. as a whole. Because, like, the Wrong Side Animals aren't even in the chapter. I mean, we get, like, these toys that are, like, inside out. Like, their bodies were turned inside out, and you can see, like, all the stitching. if you get what I'm saying. But they weren't even the wrong side animals. They seemed to like be a whole different line of toys. One of them was Giblet, who was a character I did like. But we didn't actually see the wrong side animals, which is kind of bullshit in a way. Because I guess really the whole point of introducing them was to show that the prototype, like, was turning these toys inside out and, like, hurting them. I still don't like them, though. I hate them. Something else I didn't like, is that how absolutely convoluted the game is. Like, I mean, yeah, all the chapters really seemed hard, but this one just seems so, like, I mean, like, I've played the chapters, and it seems like, and of course, the more I play, the more used to the controls I get, but for this chapter, it just seems like I'm never gonna get used to the controls, because of how difficult it seems. Not to mention, about, like, let's also talk about, like, the weapons. In, like, the first, like, 5 minutes of the game, which is just a chase sequence, we lose our grab pack, and then we have to get another one. And on top of that, not only do we lose our grab pack, we also lose the purple jumping hand, the orange flare gun hand, and the Omni hand. So we get the Omni hand just to lose it. I would have liked if, like, we found a way to charge the Omni hand so we could use it again and, like, use it again, like, on, like, stuff in the laboratory. But no, we lose it. And then we get 2 new hands in this game, being a gray hand, which is, like, really strong, which I was kind of thinking that would have been the yellow hand that would have been really strong, but no, it was the gray hand. And because I wasn't really expecting a gray hand. And then we do get a yellow hand, finally. And it's, like, able to, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's, like, can harness, the ability of, like, heat and coldness and electricity. Even though we already had a hand that harnessed electricity, and that was the green hand. Something, what else do I not like? Okay, okay, a few other characters, like, there was this character called Chumpkins. He was, like, this, big furry red guy with uncensored eyes, and then a yellow belly, and then his belly could open up, and it was also his mouth. And he was friendly. There was this part, but he also kind of works for the prototype in a way. So he's, like, good, but also secretly works. It's like an inside job. I don't know. There's this part where he puts us inside his mouth to hide us from the prototype, and then, like, what I don't like about it is that after that we don't really see him again, which is kind of disappointing because he seems like such a nice, fun character, and it's kind of a shame that we only get to see about, like, a minute, like a minute and a half worth of him in the chapter. And I think he might actually be related to either Kissy or Huggy, because Huggy and Kissy are not related, because Mob Entertainment confirmed that they're lovers. At least they should be. So I think Chomp would either be related to one of them. What else do I not like? Oh, something else I don't like, definitely one of the things I don't like is, the prototype's design. Yeah, because in this chapter, we finally get to see what he looks like, and I'm just not a fan of his design. He looks nothing like I was expecting him to look like, because I don't like, okay, he looks like a jester. he has a jester outfit, and I hate that. I hate it. I hate that he looks like a clown. Because you're gonna make him look like a clown, he's gonna feel like a clown. I don't like that. I was hoping he was gonna look a little more like a skeleton, but he doesn't. And like the fact that the jester outfit is red, yellow, and blue. That's the colors of Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus. Nothing against Pomni. She's a great character, but I just don't think you shouldn't be comparing those two characters together because they're nothing alike. The prototype's face also kind of looks like a mixture of Jack Skellington and Choo Choo Charles, which is kind of weird. Again, I was hoping for him to kind of look like a rotting skeleton. Because I was hoping he was going to look a lot more like the shrine that Catnap made. And I was also hoping that he was going to have a bit more parts of characters we've already faced. Like, I mean, yeah, he has parts. He has, like Mommy's arm and I think part of Catnap's body. I was just hoping he would have more. And that's what's kind of disappointing to me. But the biggest thing about it, the number one thing that I hate about the chapter is that that it wasn't the end. I hate that. It was confirmed that we're getting a chapter 6, and I hate that for two reasons. One, because I was wrong. I was so confident that chapter 5 was going to be the end, especially with how chapter 4 was set up. And I'm mad that it wasn't. And two, since it's not the end, that means we're gonna have to wait a whole ass year for chapter 6 just for it to end. That means this game is not gonna be over. That means I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 18 by the time this goddamn game is over with. It shouldn't take 7 years for a game to be completed. Yeah, it took 7 years for Cuphead to be completed, but that's only because it was only under the development of 2 people. And also, because they released, this game is releasing chapter by chapter, and it's taking them 7 years to finish it. And it's a whole ass, company. It's not only just, 2 people work on it, it's multiple people. See, this is what happens when you make Project Playtime and Chapter 3 ends up getting delayed. A whole ass year, because that means you get delayed a whole ass year. God damn it. You screwed me over, Mob. You screwed me over, Mob Entertainment. Jesus Christ. I'm so mad. Okay, but let's talk about the very little things I do like about the chapter. For one, Huggy Wuggy. Okay, we all knew he was going to be back, because it was revealed at the very end of chapter 4 that he was still alive, even though Mob tricked everybody into believing he was dead. He got, surprisingly, a lot more screen time in this chapter than I thought he would, and that's a good thing, because he honestly deserves a lot. He deserves to have as much screen time as possible out of really any character, because he was the one who started it all, and he's the face of Poppy Playtime. He's the Freddy Fazbear of the game of Poppy Playtime, and he's basically the mascot for Mob Entertainment. And we ran into him on 3 occasions in the game. At the very beginning, somewhere towards, somewhere a little in the middle, I think, and then towards the end. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody that angry in a game before, because, Huggy was absolutely pissed. he was, like, I mean, you know, he was beyond Crash. Like, he was more, I mean, he seemed more angry than Goey was when he crashed down in Chapter 4. Like, Huggy was so mad. Like, he was, he wanted nothing more than to squeeze our insides out. That's how mad he was. Like, I've never seen anybody that pissed before in a game. What else do I like? Again, there's kind of a few things. Oh, yeah, there's also this secret in the game. Okay, wait, real quick before I get to that. I'm so glad that Lamone got to return. So I wasn't really in the way I was thinking, because, like, in Chapter 4, if you got Lamone from where he was in the prison, you could carry him with you until the very end. So I was kind of hoping that, like, maybe if he was going to return, he was going to be in the lab's entrance where the game starts out. And, you know, the game does start where Chapter 4 picks up. When Chapter 4 ended, sorry. But, instead, we have to find him a little while, like, later in the labs. And, Lamone has a family. There's multiple Lamones. Something else, we get to see an actual Brawn, like an actual giant Brawn monster, not just like the one that was just a bit bigger than a human that was not even alive from Chapter 2, like an actual one that was kind of alive, not entirely. Like, his stomach was ripped open, his, like, guts were spilling out, and apparently when he eats, like, the food comes out of his body, and, like, it feeds, like, little toys, too. It's kind of weird. But get this, speaking of dinosaurs, there's this secret in the game that, and once there's these scanners you can scan with your grab pack hand, and if you get all of them, then you get to see Pianosaurus at the end as, like, a little secret. It's most likely not canon, but it's great to see that Pianosaurus finally got some justice after the very little screen time he got in Chapter 4. In fact, he gets more screen time in Chapter 5 from just a little secret and pictures on the wall than he did in Chapter 4, which has got to be humiliating. And because he wasn't really supposed to be a character in this chapter. And another thing that they did is that Huggy and Kissy finally got to meet. Whether it was them meeting for the first time or if they were, like, reuniting, I don't know. But it was, like, such a beautiful moment that was happening between them. And then the prototype just comes and ruins everything. Like, he stabs Huggy. He stabs Kissy. I don't know if they died. They probably didn't die, because I don't think that would be enough to kill them. But still, I mean, the prototype has to be like the biggest cock blocker ever. Come on, man. Huggy Wuggy was trying to get a sucky wucky. And then we have to fight the prototype. Kind of, in a way. It's also revealed that the prototype, like, ever since Chapter 2, everybody's been speculating, is the prototype Elliot Ludwig? Is he Poppy's father? I mean, it was revealed in Chapter 4 that Elliot Ludwig was Poppy's father. But later on, still, like, we were all still speculating that. And as the chapters went on, I was starting to, I don't know how to say this. I was starting to, think he was the prototype less and less. Because we were, starting to lose. But it actually turned out that we finally found out about the prototype's identity. His real name is Oliver Ludwig. He is Elliot Ludwig's son and Poppy's brother. So, turns out in Chapter 4, when it was revealed that Ollie was the prototype, he was actually the prototype. He wasn't just, Ollie wasn't just a kid that the prototype made up and was mimicking a voice of. he was actually Ollie. He wasn't imitating a voice of a kid. He was just using his own voice. The voice of Ollie was the prototype's original voice, so when Ollie died, when Ollie was actually there was an actual Ollie that was a long time ago, but Ollie never actually died. Because Ollie was the prototype, like, legitimately. If you understand what I'm trying to say. And also, for when we faced the prototype, it was kind of interesting for what they did. For, like, every boss, like, we face in the whole game, they did something interesting, like, whether it was, like, something. For Huggy, it was a chase sequence. For Mommy, it was a chase sequence. For Catnap, it was a boss fight. For Yarnaby, it was a chase sequence. For the Doctor, it was a boss fight. And for Doughy, it was a boss fight. For the prototype, it was both a chase and a boss fight. That's kind of interesting. It's also worth mentioning, at the very end, like, of the chapter, Giblet manages to save us, even though we were impaled by the prototype with his sharp fingers. And then Poppy was taken. And then we go to this, like, warehouse place, and something just unbelievably happens, like mind-blowing happens, is that, like, we activate this machine thing, and it's revealed that the Doctor, Harley Sawyer, is still alive. Which, I guess, in a way, kind of makes sense, because the Doctor is just, like, so smart and cunning that, like, it would kind of make sense if he, like, would figure out a way to, like, still keep himself alive, considering, like, when he got the Omni Hand, he, like, took complete control over the factory. So, in a way, it kind of makes sense, because in Chapter 4, he basically just invited us into his domain, just so we can kill him. He probably wouldn't have done that unless he had some way to still stay alive. And I don't know if he's gonna be friend or foe in Chapter 6. Hopefully Chapter 6 is the ending, because if it's not the ending, it should be, because if it's not, then I'm gonna be more angry than I already am. And also because since I was so confident that Chapter 5 was gonna be the end, and that it's not, like, I've never actually been so impatient before, because, like, I've been patient for Chapter 2, I've been patient for Chapter 3, as hard as that was, because of how much, like, hype I had for Chapter 3, because of how long I had to wait, which is probably what made Chapter 3 be my favorite, and I was patient for Chapter 4, and truth be damned, I was patient for this chapter. I have never been so impatient for a chapter before, because now because of this, I am so eagerly impatient for Chapter 6. I'm so impatient that it's gonna kill me, honestly. Look, I don't think I'm gonna be able to wait a whole ass year just for Chapter 6 like I was. I was able to wait. I was able to be patient, but now I'm, like, not patient enough for Chapter 6, which is part of why I'm so upset with this chapter, and why it disappointed me so much. Because of all the things it had, because it wasn't the end. I'm gonna have to wait, and that's why I was so upset with Chapter 5. It doesn't completely ruin the game for me. It's still a good game. I've never been this upset with the game before. And that says a lot, considering... And that says a lot, considering I've been upset with how long it took for Chapter 3 to come out, and I've been upset with the problems that Chapter 4 has had, but I've looked past that, because because Chapter 3 was definitely worth the wait, and they fixed their problems for Chapter 4, which is what made it which is part of what helped make Chapter 4 so great. And with this, it's just not the same. I've never been so angry with, like, I don't think I've ever been so angry with a game before. Like, not with, like, playing the game and, like, raging at it, but, like, with, like, the game itself. And the overall, like, plot and story and, like, everything that's gone into it. All they had to do was just make the game a little longer. And it would have been, and just finish it off there, and it would have been okay. Because I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait a whole goddamn year for another fucking chapter. Just so to risk the chance that they might screw me over again. Because if they go beyond 6, then it's just not worth it anymore. Then the game is just, it's just not worth it anymore. I mean, yeah, Garden of Banban's been doing multiple chapters, but that's just because the game, like, each chapter isn't nearly as long as each chapter of Poppy Playtime. So that's why it's so easily forgivable. But this is Poppy Playtime. I don't know. I've never been so upset about this game before. So if y'all have, like, seen me commenting on videos and me, like, trash talking about Chapter 5, this is why. I'm explaining to you why I'm so upset with this chapter. I hope you understand, and if you don't, then you can go screw off. Like, I don't care. You can just screw off for all I care. God, this video's taking forever. It's time to stop.